So we want to unveil the true champion within. Welcome back, everyone, as we continue to talk about the blueprint of a true champion. Not everybody who win are champions, believe it or not. Because when I read the blueprint of a champion, of a true champion, I'm like, not everybody is like that. So in our last video, we did talk about true champions, and we're going to link that video for you. If you have not seen that one, then you definitely must check it out so you can follow along and to understand where we are coming from. So we did talk about 3 points of what a true champion is. Out of the 3 points, I especially love mental toughness, which is what we closed off on. Is that as a true champion, you got to be mentally tough, because when the stakes are high, you got to know, how am I going to bounce back? But you can watch that video as we dive a little bit more into it. At number 4, as a true champion, there has to be some amount of humility. You know, some persons are very boastful and probably, showcasing what they have. That's not really characteristics of a true champion. A blueprint for a true champion: humility. You learn to remain humble despite the achievement. So you see people who don't showcase and brag. And the same tennis player that we were talking about in our last video, Sinner, when you listen to him, when you hear how he speaks, oh my God, such humility when he's on the court and when he loses any point or anything like that. I've never seen him react as how some persons do. They are really out of character. You see such humility on him. I'm like, so while I was preparing this, he was on my mind. I was like, wow, those were qualities of a true champion. You know, what I love about a true champion is their ability to acknowledge their weaknesses. Some people they don't want to acknowledge that their weaknesses, they shy away from it, but being able to acknowledge it gives you the opportunity to work on it, because we're not perfect in everything. We're not strong in everything. If you do not know where your weak area is, how are you going to work on it? You've got to be able to acknowledge it. And they also graciously accept, credit, like praise from people, and where credit is due to somebody else, he gives it. Or you give it. As a true champion, you give the credit to who credit is due. There are some people who don't give credit. They succeed in certain areas and they forget about the persons who should get some credit. They don't do that. They are up in themselves when things are high for them, when they are doing well. They don't remember from where they are coming from. That's not the heart of a true champion. They remember those persons who would have been with them when they were low. They remember those persons who had their backs when their back was against the wall, the persons who stuck by them, the true champion. They remember that when they were weak in areas, those persons lift them up and say, listen, you can do it, and push them forward. Humility. They will tell you it's not just about me. It's not me alone. And when these tennis players are talking, they talk about their team. Their successes is not about just them. It is about them and their team, because they could not have achieved it without them. The physiotherapists, when they have pain here and pain there, and what they have to do. The coaches work how they to work on their mental, and I mean, they have a whole lot of people working with them. So it's not just about a one person. It's about everybody coming together, getting the thing that needs to be done, and they do it. So as a true champion, you remain humble, not boastful. Number 5 is leadership. Believe it or not, a true champion possesses leadership qualities. Check yourself. Do you think you possess leadership qualities? You actually might have it and don't even recognize it, because you inspire others to do the best in them, pull out the best in people. Are you good at that? Getting people to do their very best, pull out the best in them. That's one of the blueprint of a true champion. Yes, it is. They motivate you and push you to be the very best. never to give up, and encourages you to keep on fighting. That sounds like Trina. While I was writing, I was like, that sounds like me. I always tell people, say, listen, nobody give up, keep going at it, keep pushing, you're gonna be successful, you're gonna make it, you can do this. And so they're able to encourage others to pull out the best in them. That might be you. I'm talking to you. You're at work and there are so many persons who you're able to inspire. There are some people who have leadership position, but there's nobody following them. They have the title, but who is following them? You may not have certain education, but you have the leadership qualities in you, and this is something of a true champion. How many persons have you inspired? Yes, you are a true champion. People look up to you. They say, hey, you give us that, you inspire us to do more. They look at you. What are you going to do? That's true qualities of a champion. And the final point for this video is integrity. A true champion values honesty, fairness. They don't go cut the corners, the shortcut. It's a shortcut draw blood. They compete with integrity and respect the rules. That's the art of a champion. So you see the people them who go corners, cut corners to get to achieve a small fame. That's not a champion. That's not a part of the blueprint of a true champion. Blueprint of a true champion is person with integrity. And while I was watching the tennis, I remember last year, I think the tournament last, I don't remember where they were playing, but there was this player from Canada. I think Felix is his name. I remember his full name right now. But I remember he was playing this match and it was a point that would have probably helped him to move to the next level. When the ball bounced over the other side, he gave a drop shot, right? And it double bounce. And if it double bounce, it means your opponent would lose a point. It double bounce, but the opponent still was able to hit back the ball over his side. Now the judge, what do they call him? The line judge. He gave the point to the next person because Alex Felix did not hit that point. So he contested it and he went up to him and said, are you sure it double bounce? Are you 1000% sure that it didn't double bounce? And he was like, because he already called the point, he didn't want to take back whatever he said. And Alex went ahead and said to his opponent, did it double bounce? And he was like, well, whatever he said is basically, in my own words, that wasn't the exact word, but basically what he was saying, well, because he already called the point, just let it go. Because he got the point. And I'm like, that's not nice. Integrity. It says so much about you. And I actually saw the same thing play out in this tournament and the same double bounce situation. And when they were going to replay, but this time the person who was doing the calling of the point, that person asked for a replay of the point so they could see exactly what happened. Now the guy who did it, I think he was from the US, and he said, listen, it double bounce, so just give that person the point, even though I caught it and hit it back over, I said I didn't earn that point. Integrity. A true champion has integrity. Let me tell you something. That there's a champion in you. You have lots of integrity and you know it. You don't need nobody to tell you. And I'm here to encourage you. If you see where you have these qualities in you, the three we talked about before, these three that we talk about, then you are a true champion. We have about 4 more points to go, but we're definitely going to put it in part 3. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if this is your first time here. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for continuing the journey with me. And I'll definitely see you in part 3. Listen, I'm enjoying this series and I hope you are too. So make sure you check out part 1, and you cannot afford to miss part 3. See you in part 3 as we talk about the blueprint of a true champion. Take care now. See you in the next one. Bye.